Hey everybody, this is Natalie with Treasures of Minnie, and this is the card we're going to make today using the July Simon Says Stamp card kit of the month. Now this is the stamp set that comes with the card, but first I want to make a piece of pattern paper using my photo oxide technique. So you'll see here that I have a piece of glossy photo paper and I have a scrap piece. And I am taking the very edge of the cracked pistachio and I am running it along that scrap piece. It helps me keep it straight. And then I come back with a flicking motion and pull it outwards. Kind of, you can see I'm doing it here with the wilted violet. I ran it across it twice and then I come back and just do this light flicking motion out. Make sure that you wipe off your scrap piece in between so that you don't get cross-contamination. So here you're going to see me do it with the fossilized amber. I ran it down twice. And remember, I'm holding this pad at an angle because I'm only using the edge. And I flick it outwards. Now I'm going to continue to do this all the way down the paper. But the further down you get, the harder it is to kind of hold the photo paper in place and the scrap paper. So in a minute you'll see me flip it around. Just make sure that when you flip it around, you do your flicking motion towards you, because right here you'll see I'm doing it away from me. I'm flicking outward. So all the little flicky thingies are going the same direction. But now when I turn it around, my little flicky dealy thingies are going to go towards me. And then for the very last bit, I don't even use a piece of scrap paper. I just do it on its own. So when we're done, we're going to have this really pretty background pattern piece. But now we're going to take a wet baby wipe and wipe it off. And this is what gives it the technique. This is what makes it very bright and pretty. And I'm calling it the photo oxide technique. So then I took it to my Big Shot and I cut out a circle. And I also cut out 4 circle frames from some white cardstock. Now my camera was off, but I had stamped the sentiment on a piece of acetate using my Misty. And then I took the bikini stamp and I did cut my stamp in half because, as you can see here, I wanted to stamp it all over the acetate piece. And then with some double-sided sticky tape, I centered that acetate piece onto my pattern piece and stuck it down. I also, with some blue cardstock, cut out the exact same frame and glued it on the outside. Now this is the 4 other frames of the white cardstock that we got. That's going to make our shaker base, and I glued all of those together. Now to line it up on my card base properly so that I get it all right, I took the center piece. This was what was cut out of the white cardstock. I put a little dot of Tombow Mono just on the center of it. I'm holding it in place on the back of my panel, and then I'm going to try to do the best that I can to line my panel up straight the way I would want it on my card base. Once I've got it where I think I want it, I'm just going to give it a little push in the center, and then I take my base off, or my panel off, and you can see here that now that circle is exactly where it needs to be. And I can now, with some Tombow, glue down my little frames. I think I have 4 or 5 frames. But this is when I realized that I had put the white one on here, and I actually cut out a blue one so that the shaker piece has a blue background. But since we only put a dot of Tombow, I could just pull it up really easily and put some Tombow on the blue piece and stick it right in the center. Now this is going to hold all of our little sequins and stuff, and if I was going to glue this down now, you could see what it would look like. But first we need to fill it up. So I cut out 2 bikinis, and I'm going to use some of these sequins that came in the card kit for this month, but I'm also going to add some of my own sequins just to give it a little color. So I think I do some like pinks and oranges, and I pretty much just add a little bit of all the colors that we used in the Distress Oxide inks. Now I'm ready to glue the front on. So I'm taking some Tombow, I put it all around that frame, and then I also put some foam dots everywhere else. And I lined it up and stuck it to the top. So now I'm going to take a Stampin' Up button and some Stampin' Up twine, and I'm going to decorate the front of my card. But because I want to thread this twine in the button, I took a little bit of glossy accents between my fingers and I kind of rolled each end of that twine together until it hardened up so it'll make it easier to thread my button. I'm going to wrap it around the side twice, and then I'm going to thread those ends through the button, and you'll be able to tell then why it was a lot easier to kind of harden the end of it up with some glossy accents. And yeah, it does change the color, but I'm going to cut off the extra anyway. So just cut it a little longer than you think that you need it. So I'm going to thread this through here and get my button positioned where I think I want it, and then tie a bow. Because the button wasn't laying flat like I wanted, after I trimmed it down, I took a foam square and I stuck it to the back of my button and then stuck it onto the card, and that keeps it straight and laying exactly the way I want it. So now I want to attach one more bikini to the outside, and I'm going to use these foam strips that came in the kit, and I think they would be awesome for making shaker cards. I just really like to build my frames up. But I am going to use it to attach the bathing suit. But if you saw, I put a dot of glossy accents at the top there where it's tied. And that is because that part is going to touch that twine, and I want it to glue down so it doesn't tear easily. I do the exact same thing for the bottom of the bathing suit. And with a few of those sequins that came in the kit that were left, I am going to glue them. I'm going to glue 3 of them here, and then I do 3 more at the bottom. I also wanted to remind you guys that I'm on Facebook at Treasures of Minnie Craft Corner. I also have an Instagram now at Treasures of Minnie, and I'm keeping up with that. And a Pinterest, which is Natalie Miss You, but my board is called Treasures of Minnie. Also, for my last little detail here, I'm going to add some Wink Estella on the frame and on the bathing suit. Okay, so that is our card for today. Make sure you give me a thumbs up and hit subscribe and click on the little gray bell so you'll be notified every time I add a video. And I love reading your comments, so ask any questions that you have. I am going to show you 2 more cards that I made with this kit, but I did not make a video on them. So I'm just going to kind of talk you through sort of what I did. So this is the first one, and the background is done with my photo oxide technique. I used cracked pistachio, broken china, and faded blue jeans to make the background. And then I did this little frame spot, and I stamped on acetate that came with the kit. But the piece of acetate that came with the kit had a piece of tissue paper on it to keep it from getting scratched up. And I decided to use that tissue paper. I stamped little birds on it and a couple of little clouds in the cracked pistachio, and then I just put it behind the acetate. And I think it makes a really neat little different element to the card. This is the last one. Well, this is actually the first one I made with the kit. The background I covered in, it's either faded blue jeans or broken china. I get them confused. So the lighter of the 2 Distress Oxide inks, I used a blending tool and covered the back of it. Then I put Versamark on the cloud stamp and stamped it on top. And the Versamark kind of bleached out or lightened the oxide, so it made the clouds lighter. And then I added some detail with some white gel pen. On the bottom, I stamped the wavy lines that come in that stamp set as well. And then I used a darker color to make water, and then I just turned it into a shaker card. Anyway, guys, if any of that was just way too confusing and you need me to redo anything, please just leave me a comment and let me know, and I would be more than happy to. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you give this photo oxide technique a try. It is a lot of fun and very addictive. So until next time, hugs and loves from my craft room to yours. Bye. One last thing, if you click on the video here on the screen, it will take you to another video with a more in-depth photo oxide technique, or you can click on my face to take you to my channel. Bye.